So here we are at the Chancellor's house, Gene Block. And we're going to try to deliver a message. Bad.
System dialing. Hello?
Hello, I'm calling for Chancellor Block.
Yes, can I do for you?
Yes, I have a delivery. Well, this is Mrs. Block.
Yeah?
All right. My name's Chris Bennett, and if you can see me, I've got a book here. It's my father wrote this book. He was a professor of medicine at UCLA for 35 years.
Okay, let me let you in, because this call box is going to time out. Let me
Oh,
open
okay,
the
thank
gate
you.
for you.
Oh my God, it's a miracle. Let me just shut this thing here. Oops. Put this thing up. Oh my God. Wow. Oh my God. Can you believe it? I found a human being in here. Nice place here. Wow. Oh my God. Should have brought the RV in here. God.
Chris Bennett. Nice to meet you, Chris.
Do you remember Dr. Cleves Bennett?
This is your father?
Yep. He was a professor of medicine
When was
here for 35 years.
Oh wow! When did he retire?
Around 2000.
Yes, I started in 2007.
Mm-hmm.
That's the reason.
Yeah. He knew Kenneth Shine.
Oh wow! I will. We have a residence library. I'll add this to the library.
Yes. Well, I came by with a couple of requests. My father, under the care of UC Riverside trained doctor, UC Irvine trained psychiatrist, and a drug from UC San Francisco. He was given it against our wishes, and he was poisoned and made cripple. And so for the last 2 years, we've been struggling to keep him alive at our house.
Wow.
And so I came here to ask for help.
Yeah, I don't know what I can. I mean, not our medical center, right? I mean, it wasn't our medical center.
Well, here's the other issue: is Dr. David Merrill.
Yes.
You know him?
No.
He's at UCLA, the Mary Kay Easton Alzheimer's Clinic. And so Dr. Greg Cole, also there, and Dr. Dale Bredesen. Dr. David Merrill has $40 million that he was supposed to use for treating dementia patients. And Dr. Dale Bredesen was the director of those 1,000 patients. And instead of doing that, they fired him and slandered him. And I asked them 2 years ago, all of them, to use that $40 million grant to save my dad. Because my dad has dementia. And so Dr. Dale Bredesen agreed. He still has agreed. Dr. Greg Cole agreed. Dr. David Merrill has been dragging his feet. So I said to all of them, let's go to the UC system, and they've got $60 billion. They can match the grant. And then we could save my dad.
So, I'll be honest with you. The way you have to do this is you've got to write to me, number one, and I will forward it right to John Mazziota. I don't know what we can do, to be quite honest. But you you tell me this now. There's no way for me to evaluate, what we can do and what our obligations are and what's possible. I really recommend you write to. I mean, maybe you've written to him already, because I've never seen any
I've
letter
written to
from
all
you.
of them.
Sorry to interrupt, but you're going to have to let him out because he didn't drive up. You won't be able to open the gate.
All right.
Yeah. Okay, good.
Yeah. You're gonna have to write to John Mazziota. You're happy to copy me. I can't sit here and do much more than listen to you now. And I
appreciate you
your
listening.
situation.
I appreciate you.
Right.
My dad has days left to live. Not only did these doctors from your system, see, in 1980, early 1980s, you know about Norman Cousins, right?
Yes.
He endorsed my dad's book. So he and my dad and Dr. Dean Ornish tried to convince Dr. Kenneth Shine to integrate these ideas into the medical system.
Right.
Dr. Kenneth Shine refused.
Right. And again, I mean, I hear you, but I have no context for this. I mean, I never met Shine. I started here in 2007. I've never heard about you're hitting me for the first time with all this.
I know.
So what I'm telling you,
I'm asking for your help.
I'm
trying my dad.
I'm trying to be productive, and I say, write to me, and write to John Mazziota.
I'm asking for a little bit quicker. See my dad right there?
Yeah, but I don't know how we can. Your dad is
You have the
suffering
power.
from dementia.
You know all those kids that are.
Yeah, what does your dad? What do you need that we can save him? And
money.
why? Excuse me.
Money. Funding.
money
The
is
immediate funding. Well, the medical system.
Let's walk back over.
Great. Well, actually, why don't we sit down here for a few more minutes, because this is pretty critical.
But this is really inappropriate. Come unannounced. I'm open. Normally I wouldn't even meet with anyone unannounced. I'm totally unprepared for this discussion. I mean, really, you're taking advantage of me.
You know what? I apologize.
Yeah, but I hear you. I understand.
But the problem is that my father was poisoned by the doctors that were trained by this medical system.
But I don't know that.
Well, you can confirm it in about 5 minutes. Okay? Dr. Dale Bredesen, he agreed to talk to you. And he agreed to go on my TV show that I'm creating. Dr. Dale Bredesen, I got him his cell phone number. We can call him right now. He's got the cure for dementia. The end of Alzheimer's. He wrote the book.
Trust me, I'm a neuroscientist. There is no immediate cure for dementia right now. I am unwilling to believe that.
Really?
I've
Okay,
been
you have the
following this
book.
literature
You have the book
closely.
then. That's great. Dr. Yale Bredesen thanked me for getting this thing cleared up. He got fired and slandered. Slandered by UC San Francisco doctors.
Yeah, I
And
don't
Dr.
know. I
David
don't know the
Merrill.
background. I mean, I know Bredesen slightly. I don't know well. I don't know anything of the background. I don't think he was fired. So, you know. But
He was supposed to treat 1,000 patients, and now they're not getting any treatment. Dr. Greg Cole told me that.
you know, again, my understanding is, you know, I had a mother who passed away from Alzheimer's. I followed it pretty closely.
Yeah.
There is no cure right now. There's some promising drugs, but there's no one that has a cure for Alzheimer's, and no one can save anyone at this point, to the best of my knowledge. But there may be, you know, I mean, look, there's always a possibility for a cure. Bredesen's research, I know he's been productive, and I don't know anything about the background. He was here for a while. I don't know anything about the background on it. You say you've hit me completely unprepared. There's
I'm
very
sorry
little I
about
can
that,
say.
but my dad is going to die in a couple days because of really bad care by the
Bad care
medical
here, you're
system.
saying. Bad care at UCLA Medical Center.
UC Riverside, UC Irvine, and UC San Francisco. And then I asked for help at UCLA. Dr. David Merrill, he has $40 million in the bank. Okay?
So give me your name and let me talk to John Mazziota. Have you talked to John Mazziota? Have you written to John
No, who is he?
Mazziota?
Who is he? Let me write down his name.
No, you're talking to me, and you should be talking to the Vice Chancellor for Health Affairs.
Okay.
Write to John Mazziota.
Well, it's something like, it's an emergency. So because of my dad is at UCLA. His peers poisoned him. His peers poisoned him.
I got it.
Okay.
But
And you know this is happening. The drugging of America, the over-drugging, and they're not paying for Dean Ornish's program. So they didn't pay. My dad couldn't do that because of the Medicare system.
I hear you. Write to John Mazziota, and you can copy me.
And all those kids marching, I visited a bunch of them yesterday, and I told them that they're getting stressed out from that not getting paid enough. And so I invited them to come here.
What's your name?
Chris Bennett.
Chris Bennett. Okay, Chris, there's no more I can do for you right this second.
Okay.
You can write to John Mazziota. I will call
Yeah,
him.
here's the problem. If my dad dies in the next couple days, my dad's going to die in the next couple days because of the refusal to treat and the over-drugging against our wishes.
So
It's informed consent. Do you know about informed consent? Informed consent is not taught to any of those doctors. They didn't ask our permission. We gave them that book, and they gave him the drugs behind our back that poisoned him. Okay? That's a crime. All right?
So bring
That's
that
a
up.
crime.
Bring that up with authorities.
Well,
Again,
I'm asking, you're at the top, sir. That's why I
am-
came by here. You're at the top.
Yeah, I am. This is.
And this is your opportunity. If my dad dies, I'll be free. I've been 2 years nursing him, having to roll him over, me and my mom and my brother. My brother and my mom's blood pressure went through the roof from the stress.
Look, I'm sorry
Okay.
for what you're dealing with.
And now if my dad dies, I'm going to spend the rest of my time here to make sure he's the last death. Okay? I'm going to be parking that RV right here. I'm going to be parking it down the street, and I'm going to make sure it's the last death. Okay? From over-medication and refusal to treat. Okay? They refused Loma Linda University doctors under Medicare guidelines. And you know they don't give physical therapy to people. Okay? So, my dad dies. You can pick up the phone and you can open the doors for me and you can make all the appointments.
Can I help?
Okay?
Can I help you out?
Yeah, I will. I'm going to go right now. Okay? Because I don't want to seem like I'm intimidating. Okay? Because I'm not, sir. I'm trying to save people. And I'm going to leave you with 2 letters here.
Ask you a question.
Yeah.
What if your father, and I'm very sorry about this, is very far along with dementia, what can reverse irreversible brain damage quickly to save someone's life?
can tell you.
Other than having him in the hospital and giving him appropriate care. Is he in the hospital now?
No, he's at our house. Yeah. I'll tell you what's missing in Bredesen's program, and I told him this. He's on the board of directors and advisors for the Maria Shriver Dementia Alzheimer's Foundation. Okay? Instead of getting funding, he got 0. So what I told him, my dad was the founding, you heard of the Pritikin Diet? Pritikin Longevity Center? heard of the Critical Longevity Center?
I've not heard of that.
My dad is the founding medical director of Critical Longevity Center. And so, back in the 1970s, they bought a hotel in Santa Monica Beach. And my dad brought in the doctors and the exercise and everything, the stress reduction. And so I told Dr. Bredesen what's wrong in his program. The reason why he's getting mediocre results is because it's on an outpatient basis. So he needs him to be living in a hotel for several months, exercising and eating right, bringing the stress down.
So I read Bredesen's papers.
Yes. Great.
It's all slow, these are slow impacts that occur over time with blocking Alzheimer's. And I think the kind of risk, I don't know how much of this can be supported by additional work.
That's right. It's mediocre results. So I told him it's on an outpatient basis. So the memantine that poisoned my dad came from UC San Francisco. You know about memantine?
No.
Okay. Well, it's supposed to block glutamate. Glutamate in the brain,
Right?
because glutamate does what to the brain cells?
Well, glutamate is poison. Glutamate's a transmitter. Normally, at normal levels, it's part of the brain chemistry.
Yeah, it's a stress chemical. So Robert Sapolsky, zebras don't get ulcers.
Mm-hmm. It's right.
It's in there.
Right.
Glutamate burns holes in the brain. So my
Right.
dad had a massive amount of stress,
Right.
and then he developed dementia,
Mm-hmm.
right in front of my eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Family war that was stirred up by my other family members.
Mhm.
Massive family war.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, although there's really not much of a link between stress and Alzheimer's, the best that I know. I'm not sure that that's a very good, evidence. I mean, there's been a lot of studies of what causes Alzheimer's, everything from aluminum poisoning to, and the best thing so far is genetics, unfortunately.
Okay.
So, but anyway,
Well, do you know about the ACEs studies?
no.
Adverse childhood experiences. So Nadine Burke-Harris is the new California Surgeon General, and she's written about this. And the ACEs studies found 30 years ago that people that had a whole bunch of bad things happen to them get much higher levels of dementia.
But if it was, is it Alzheimer's? Again,
Both.
Yeah,
Both.
that's really the question. So again,
So Dale Bredesen put that in his book.
Right.
Did you read his book, or
I
you
didn't
just
read
read the
his book.
studies?
I just read the studies.
Okay.
Right.
Well, as a leadership position, and you're a neurologist.
I'm not a neurologist. I'm a neuroscientist, but I'm not a doctor. I'm not an MD.
Okay.
Right.
There's 1,000 patients at the Mary Kay Easton Dementia Clinic who are not getting the cure. They're not getting that book. That book costs a couple dollars to print. And so I would like to suggest that you consider getting Bredesen back down here, getting that $40 million grant, doubling it with the, out of the $60 billion. And by the way, those students that are marching, they can all get raises out of that $60 billion endowment in the UC system. How would you feel about that?
I don't know about a $60 billion endowment.
50?
I don't know
Maybe
anything
it's
about-
50.
I don't know anything about it.
For University of California?
$50 billion endowment. I'm just not sure what it is.
No, the entire endowment is how much for UC
Oh,
system?
yeah, but remember, it's all tied to specific gifts, to endowed professorships, and almost all of it's restricted. We have very little restricted funds. The funds are committed. Donors specify where they have to be spent. They have to be spent that way. It's not just sitting there that you can use it as free cash.
David Merrill has $40 million was specified for healthy living, and he's not using it for that 1,000
Right.
patients. So if my dad dies in the next couple days, I'm going to be totally 100% free to come back here and make sure he's the last death from
Right.
refusal to treat.
Right.
So you're going to help me, or you're going to refuse to help me?
You've framed this in a way that I don't know how to respond to you, frankly.
I know
You're
it's
threatening me to be back here, and I'll have the police
No,
here.
just to visit. I'm a polite person.
No.
You know what? I'm a polite person, sir. I'm trying to save my dad.
I understand.
And by the way,
I
this is the
understand
most
what
important thing I wanted to give
you. Want me to
you.
hold on to this? You don't want me to hold on to this?
Yeah. I want to give it to you. You know what? I'm sorry it sounds like I'm mean or something like that, but I've been working on this for 20 years
But you
with my dad.
you haven't contacted even our Vice Chancellor for Health Affairs. Your
I've
father's
contacted
He's not
everybody.
in our hospital.
I
Have you
contacted-
contacted John Mazziota?
He's the only one I didn't contact. I didn't know his
Well,
name. I was in your office yesterday, and I gave it to one of the chancellors, the vice chancellor. He was in his office yesterday. Okay, I gave these same documents. And you know what? I really apologize for
Right.
sounding mean.
Right.
Okay? I'm frustrated, and my dad is dying in front of my eyes.
I understand you're
And
frustrated.
Dr. David Merrill refused to help us.
I understand.
Okay, are you going to
understand.
help me fast?
I understand you're
Can you help me
frustrated.
fast to save my dad? Can you help me make the phone calls? Can you make a donation for $10,000? I'm sure you earn a few $100,000 a year. I'm going to pass those letters out to all your neighbors.
Okay.
For the rest of the day.
Look,
Because I'm going to ask for their help.
Now you're threatening me.
No, it's not a threat. That's a positive letter right there.
Do what you got to do.
That's a positive letter.
Do what you got to do.
You know what? When you read that, you're going to like it.
Okay.
That's
a
a positive letter.
Read it. Thank you.
And you know what? I'm sorry again. I apologize again that I sound mean. Okay, I'm just upset because my dad is dying right before my eyes.
I understand that.
And I'm asking you for help.
I understand that.
Okay? And to help all those kids too.
I understand that. As I said.
I'm going to share my story. I already shared my story with them. Okay,
Thank you.
Great. Thank you very much. Oh, excuse me. My vehicle won't start, so they're sending help right now. They're sending emergency roadside assistance because I couldn't get it started. So I think it'll take just an hour though. Oh shit. Can't even get in there. Robot. Right into denial that there's a solution. Right into denial that there's a solution.